Welcome to the BrightInsight Digital Health C-Suite Series. I'm Chitra Nawbatt. Joining us today is Meghan Thelen of bioMérieux. Meghan, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Chitra. Happy to be here.
Tell us about your company and its top 3 priorities.
Sure. For the past 55 years, bioMérieux has been the world leader in vitro diagnostics, particularly in the field of infectious disease. We bring diagnostic solutions to hospitals, healthcare systems, large reference laboratories, and we also have a small portion of our business that provides quality control and those diagnostic services to industry customers, so food, beverage, pharmaceutical manufacturers. Our top public health focus areas are the continuing fight against the existential threat of antimicrobial resistance, sepsis, and respiratory infections.
You've gotten into some of the specifics there, but if you can bring it to life, give us some of your key use cases that you guys are solving in the market at scale.
Sure. I think diagnostics, if it was underappreciated before the COVID pandemic, really highlighted the need for really robust quality diagnostics. Our tests help caregivers determine what's making someone sick and whether the right treatment for that patient can be delivered.
Some of what's involved in your role is value-based care. Value-based care has a lot of different meanings, whether it's from the payer perspective, provider perspective, and in diagnostics. Talk to us.
Certainly. Diagnostics play a critical role in value-based healthcare, and this is what I mean about value-based healthcare. If we think of the objectives as being delivering better patient outcomes at a lower total cost of care, if we think of how to be stewardships of our healthcare resources, providing more personalized care to patients, but at the same time ensuring that there is equitable access to care. Those are the kind of objectives of value-based healthcare that diagnostics can support. And they do this by making sure that patients are treated as quickly as possible, appropriately, and moved out of higher acuity settings of care as quickly as possible.
In your company context and in the context of your role, what are the top challenges you face?
Sure. It's an interesting business, and diagnostics has some unique characteristics that really differentiate it from a pharma or a medical device. So when you think of a diagnostic platform and you think of value, right, there's this difference between the elements of how you would value a diagnostic that are in the control of the manufacturer, and here I'm talking about things like how quickly a test can turn around a result. The sensitivity and specificity of its performance, the ease of use or robustness of the system. Those are well within the manufacturer's control, right? But then when you think about, and as we are increasingly being pushed in this transformation towards value-based healthcare, to looking at value in terms of the impact of an innovation on patients and their outcomes, you're then looking at a more downstream impact, right? There's an intervening force, a human force. A diagnostic or a pharma has immediate impact on a patient. With a diagnostic test, a caregiver, a person has to intervene and make a treatment decision based on the test result. So that creates complexity in the business model, and that's where I spend a lot of my time thinking. How do we maximize the value that is created, this potential value created by our diagnostic technology, in terms of making sure patients are managed optimally by clinicians?
So from what you just described, there are premiums on this notion of real time, time to outcome, time to diagnostic or diagnosis, accuracy, analytics coming off of that. Talk about the role of digital and both the barriers to digital adoption, but then how digital can be an accelerant.
Absolutely. I think digital is core in terms of solutions to, 2 critical challenges in the diagnostic industry. The first is a little bit what I talked about this value capture challenge, right? This indirectness of the value proposition of a test and its impact on patient outcomes. The second piece is sort of disparate data sources, right? So when we're trying to look and make a value analysis decision, and this matters both for value-based healthcare outcomes, it matters for market access and coverage decisions, this matters for commercial performance, right? The value calculation. You need to get access to data that comes from different silos in the healthcare system. There is the test result data that comes off of instruments, and that's usually housed in one universe of data, the lab information system. But then the patient outcome information is usually in the electronic medical record, your Epics and Cerners. And to be able to come up with solutions that can aggregate this data in a meaningful, accurate, secure, actionable way, it's a challenge not just for our industry, but for our customers at healthcare providers. So that's where digital and digital solutions are critical to advancing the full realization of the value of diagnostics.
Give us an example of how you solve that, the intersection of that problem you just talked about. Like, how are you guys solving it and using digital to solve it?
So, sure. Well, we tried to tackle this problem a number of different ways. We have a very strong medical affairs organization that uses scientific studies, right, to look at outcomes. That's one area, and data and digital tools are incredibly helpful for making those kinds of activities more cost-effective and more deployable at scale. But we've also looked at other kinds of solutions, how to bring tools to our customers. I'm talking about things like clinical decision support software. And these are capabilities that help clinicians leverage insights and deliver better, more standardized care. We've looked into internal partnerships with experts that can help bolster our skill sets and help us bring new ways of working with our customers. I think there's huge potential. We've just really scratched the surface with digital.
You signed a partnership with BrightInsight a few months ago. Tell us about the partnership and how some of the results are tracking so far.
Chitra, I am very proud of the partnership that we have signed with BrightInsight. It is a global strategic partnership. It really brings together a strategic partner that leverages our strengths but fills gaps. We have an aligned commitment to coming up with innovative solutions to solve immediate need for healthcare providers. And we have a really interesting way of partnering. So rather than a really strict build from within or buy, we really have a true collaborative partnership that leverages the strengths of both organizations. So I'm excited about the partnership. I'm excited to share that we are developing a disease management solution that will be hosted and deployed on the BrightInsight platform. We expect to bring an MVP of that solution to the US market later this year with the potential for global expansion down the road.
Finally, Megan, what's the digital health trend that you think will dominate market opportunity this year?
So the value capture and those challenges are my North Star, but I see some opportunity in some other areas as well. I see opportunity in terms of connectivity, and here I'm talking about leveraging the cloud to capture instrument level data and aggregate that at massive scale globally. So huge opportunity there. I see continued opportunity for investment in automation capabilities in diagnostic medicine. And third, I mentioned briefly, I see continued opportunity in clinical decision support tools that can be leveraged by clinicians in the healthcare setting to make better and more consistent care management decisions.
Megan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.